South Africa on the BBC. A quick time check, 17:32 GMT. In East Africa, that's 8:30 p.m. And in Cameroon, it's 6:32 p.m. And that's where we go for our next item. President Paul Biya has called for a national dialogue over the crisis in the Anglophone regions. He said this in a rare televised address to the nation last night.
Prior to the effective holding of the dialogue, the Prime Minister, head of government, will carry out broad-based consultations to solicit a wide range of views that will serve as a source of inspiration for the conduct of deliberations. In the coming days, delegations will also be dispatched to meet the diaspora to enable them to make their contribution to discussions on the resolution of the crisis. In this regard, I am appealing to the patriotism and sense of responsibility of all our compatriots in the country and in the diaspora, so that everyone, wherever they are, should seize this historic opportunity to help to steer our country on the path of peace, harmony, security, and progress.
President Paul Biya's address to the nation in translation there. And on the streets of the capital, Yaoundé, as well as Bamenda in the affected Anglophone regions, we got these reactions.
He said there's nothing like Anglophone marginalization in Cameroon. That is a big lie. He, as president, has been addressing this nation, Cameroon, for the past 37 years. He has never addressed this nation in English. This is pure marginalization.
I was not happy because we were expecting that he should call for inclusive dialogue, but he did not call for the inclusive dialogue.
The only thing that is of capital interest is the dialogue he has called. But that has a lot of shortcomings. He was supposed to grant general amnesty for all of those political personnel who have left the country, release all political prisoners, notably the Amazonian leaders. He would not have gone to the length where he had to sentence them life imprisonment for calling dialogue.
We're in a lockdown for the past 2 years, and this is the third for the past 2 weeks. And this is the third week, and Mr. President is just playing about with this issue. People are dying on a daily basis. Places are being burned up, destruction, everything. Please, we need an all-inclusive dialogue to solve this crisis.
He's supposed to give us a period of 1 month for all the stakeholders involved to prepare themselves.
Now let's hear from the people fighting against President Biya's forces. Cho Lucas Ayaba is the president of the Ambazonia Governing Council, who wants a separate state from Cameroon. He is based in Europe, and on the line he gave me this reaction to President Biya's call.
I reject what Mr. Biya put out yesterday. He's lost legitimacy. He has been the arsonist who has razed down our villages and has murdered our people and kidnapped others and locked them in jail in Yaoundé. He has lost control of Ambazonia, and the Ambazonian question is an international affair, and Cameroon cannot adjudicate the question of Ambazonia.
Nevertheless, you say Cameroon cannot adjudicate. There is no entity known as Ambazonia that the international community recognizes. The Anglophone regions are in crisis. President Paul Biya has made this call for dialogue. You don't speak to your friends, you speak to your enemies. Should there not be some willingness on your part to end this crisis by starting first to talk to President Biya and his side?
Well, I think it is incorrect to say there is no entity known as Ambazonia. Ambazonia is a nation that is recognized as such in the African Commission's declaration in 2006. We were recognized as a people, so we are a recognized entity, probably not recognized as a state yet. Secondly, Mr. Biya does not have the capacity and willingness to negotiate Cameroon's exit from Ambazonia. If you followed his speech yesterday, he actually declared a second war on the Ambazonian people and declared also that he hasn't got partners to discuss with. In the same speech, he announced a national dialogue, a kind of a repetition of what we have observed in the last 35 years. Mr. Biya talks to himself. He doesn't talk to those he's supposed to speak to. At this stage, the international community, a credible, neutral body has to be put in place at the level of the international system. Cameroon sits on the other side, we sit on the other side and have meaningful discussion on their exit from our country.
So this call for national dialogue, you are going to just totally disregard, and you will continue this armed struggle that's causing so much suffering for people in the Anglophone regions, the northwest and southwest provinces of Cameroon.
Biya is the one who declared war on us. At the same hour at which he was making his speech, his forces were attacking our forces on the ground. Mr. Biya declared thousands of forces before his speech within our territory in strategic locations where they engaged in an act of kidnapping and torture. That is not a man who is prepared for negotiation. That is not a man who is prepared for peace. Mr. Biya is prepared for war. And we have observed this for more than 57 years. And I think if we want to end this crisis, the international system has to come in and put both parties on the table and have a meaningful discussion with the possibility of implementing any outcome that is agreed by both parties. We cannot repeat the charade of 1961 that took the first democratic country in Africa and allowed it to become a colony of a decadent political system called Cameroon.
Cho Lucas Ayaba, the president of the Ambazonia Governing Council.